Thank you. Question number 2, Martin Whitfield.
Very grateful, Presiding Officer, to ask the Scottish Government whether it will provide an update on the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child Incorporation Scotland Bill, including the latest discussions it had with the UK Government.
Cabinet Secretary Shirley-Anne Somerville.
Preparations for reconsideration stage are well underway. This includes engagement with the UK Government officials on proposed amendments to bring the bill within legislative competence. Discussions with UK Government officials currently focus on what the Supreme Court judgment means for the application of the UNCRC compatibility duty when a public authority is acting under powers conferred by UK acts in devolved areas. My officials are exploring options, and Parliament will be updated on what this means for the provisions in the bill after these have been carefully considered. The Scottish Government remains absolutely committed to incorporating the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child into Scots law as far as is possible within devolved competence.
Martin Whitfield.
I'm grateful to the Cabinet Secretary for that answer, but looking at the minutes of the varied committees and groups that are involved in this with government representatives, there have been varying responses to people about asking updates on the bill. In September last year, the Scottish Government was still on track to have the bill by the end of the year. October last year, we therefore have no timeline as yet. November last year, we can't say whether the amended bill will be presented to Parliament before the end of the year. And back in October again, we are fairly confident that the amendments we have proposed will address legislative competence. So what is the position, Cabinet Secretary? Have amendments been drafted? Are they sitting with the UK Government? And what is the deadline for the date of response from the UK Government on this?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I can assure Mr Whitfield that, of course, we have been looking at detailed amendments, but can I point out to him we are not the only player in this, and the difficulty is it's exceptionally complex when you're looking at not just what is happening and the views of the Scottish Government, but also the sovereignty of the UK Parliament and the Supreme Court judgment. So I appreciate this has taken longer than any of us would have hoped, but particularly I think given the overall approach to the UK Government on issues of the powers of this Parliament, I think it is very important that we understand the views of the UK Government, we take time to ensure that we do, and whether those have implications on how we amend the bill. But I can assure the member that our programme of work to embed children's rights continues at pace, and that is not relying on the development of the bill, and that work is continuing.
Okay. Before we move on to question 3, I would again emphasise how helpful it would be if questions